Good morning. Welcome to episode number 3 on the Gratitude series, where I answer your questions about different topics in the music production field or even any other topic or anything you want to talk about. This is the place to do it. Thank you so much. And I see the questions are starting to roll in now. I'm starting to see the comments rolling on the other videos, and I'm starting to see the emails come in. So thank you so much for that. Definitely want to get to everybody who's taking time to follow the instructions and just reach out to me for the advice. I'm glad to do it. I'm glad to share. And even I'm learning and reminding myself about the things that I need to do to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So make sure if you want to have your questions answered, just post it in the questions below or hit me up on IG or YouTube or this is so many. Anyway, so let's get right into it. Jersey Boy Beats, shout out to you. Shout out to Jersey Boy Beats for leaving the question on here. He has another question. He says, "This is good stuff. Thanks for posting this. Here's another question. Is it okay to have more than one workflow?" And I believe this means in the creation of music production and creation of beats. We're going to talk about it in the music producer perspective. And then we're going to actually talk about in the independent recording artist perspective, because I think both perspectives are very important to keep track of and to take a look at to see what works the best. So here's the thing. If you're looking to learn platforms and learn how to workflow and different things, matter of fact, before that, let me give you straight answers. Nobody ever likes to give straight answers on YouTube. I'm going to say no. It's not okay to have more than one workflow. Okay, I'm gonna give you an answer and I'm gonna give you why. But that's the short answer. Now I'm going to give you the long answer. It's okay to have multiple workflows in when you're trying to learn how to create, when you're in a creating phase, when you're in an exploration phase, when you're trying to develop your skills and you're learning and vibing. I think it's okay to try different things out. And then even in an advanced stage, it's okay to try different things out in your workflow as a beats producer. So you might try an MPC, then you might try FL Studio, Ableton, then you might try a little bit of a hardware drum machine there, and you try those things. I think it belongs in two different phases. If you're in a phase of vibing and creating, and sometimes you got to be in that phase where you're not so worried about, oh my God, I got a deadline, oh I got this and that going on, okay, I got to get this. When you're just kind of chilling and you're not really so much in the business mode, then explore. Try this out. See if this fits. Try that out. See if that fits. You try out these different things, see if they fit, see if you can vibe with it, and then you go from there, right? So, and it's okay because you can make mistakes. You don't really have to finish projects, but when you're in a situation where you're trying to finish an album, like yours truly right now, where you're trying to finish records, when you're trying to go more on a more profitable thing. Now it's about, okay, do you have clients that care if you can work on every platform? And then what type of client are you working with that needs you to work on every single platform to make beats on? Do they just want you to be good at everything? Or are they looking for music production from you? Same thing as a recording artist. Are they looking for you to be able to record in Pro Tools, Logic, Studio One, Reaper, all this other stuff? They want you got to think about that. As an engineer, when you're trying to record artists and stuff like that, you're not trying to record them in 10 different programs. Same thing on the beat production side. So now let's go on the flip side. So if you're trying to create a catalog of beats that you want to sell on BeatStars or your own website, or if you're trying to create a catalog of work, then it is kind of productive to have different workflows because now you're changing different vibes and now you're trying to learn another platform and then you're trying to learn another platform. You may be good at them. Like, albeit, I could fire up FL Studio right now, even though it's not my main program, and still crank out great music on it because of my years of experience on it. But there has to come to a point where it's like, who cares? Like, who really cares? I mean, it makes you feel cool, it makes you feel like super producer, man. Produce on anything, it's putting it from me. It's a cool benefit. I have that. It's a cool benefit, but that didn't help me sell records. That didn't improve my streams. It didn't improve my revenue. The revenue changed when I created a catalog of work from one platform. I'm just gonna make it simple because there's always an exception to every rule. But I'm gonna keep it real simple. You can make 100 beats and use 100 different platforms and still make the same amount of money as if you made 100 beats on one platform. Think about the people who are really doing it right now. And from a music perspective, that I see like at the top of the list on BeatStars, at the top of this list and top, I don't know, I don't think, I'm pretty sure I could say that I don't think that they're switching workflows, um, a lot. I don't think so. I think there are some people like to this day, like look at Kanye West. He's still on an MPC 2000. I didn't even see him really work with a 3000. Now I don't know what he's working on now, but I do think that I mean, you look at some of these older producers who've been around the game, they be on the old equipment because they have a workflow that is so tight, it's so ingrained into their muscle memory that they don't got to make changes. They don't even have to even roll like that. They just crank it out. And I think it's more important for you to crank out stuff than being a master of all these different things. Now, keep it in mind, like as you acquire new equipment, yeah, you're gonna. It's like phases. That's the best way I can describe it. There's phases between exploring different platforms and gear and all this other stuff, and then really locking down on one place and going in on it and creating the beats and creating the tracks. And having that thing. There's something to be said when you have a template on your favorite workflow or your favorite platform, and it loads up the way you work, and now you're not digging for sounds because you got a drum kit that you designed that has all the sounds that you want all the, loaded up at the same time, and you don't have to dig for that. Now, let's talk about that on the artist side. If you're trying to create records, if you're trying to create songs, the next thing you want to do is to start your song on Pro Tools and then stop in the middle of the flow and say, okay, we're going to do another workflow and we're going to go into Studio One. And then, oh, because I don't got the certain effect, I want to go into Logic. There's a certain creativity that is only bred through limitation. There's a certain level of creativity that you create through certain limitation. It doesn't make you a less of a valuable person or a music producer if you're only working with one platform. Now, let's talk about workflows working in one platform. Like, I could tell you this right now that it is much more efficient to have a drum kit with all your favorite sounds loaded up than to go into your hard drive. And every producer probably has a hard drive. I haven't seen one producer who doesn't have that drive full of their go-to sounds. Like they know how to find that one sound in this massive labyrinth of folders and files and folders underneath folders. Like they know how that goes. And even then, if you haven't messed with it in a while, you will forget and you'll have to dig. But what if you had that one drum kit, just one file that pulled all your favorite stuff into one place, or in the instance of MPC, that one program that has all those files right there, boom, you don't have to think about it, and you could just start creating right there. I think for me, for a long time, I would try to maybe look down my nose and say, oh, I don't use the same sounds to every beat. But nobody cares about that. It doesn't make it, no. Only by, I mean, if you think about it, it was the fact that the Neptunes and Timbaland, I mean, think about it. They were using the same sounds. Why were they using the same sounds? Probably because they had a program that loaded up the sounds that they had, and they were just cranking stuff out like they probably had a phase where they were just cranking a bunch of tracks out, and then they were shopping to these different labels and companies, and they all had that similar sound because they weren't trying to reinvent the wheel in their workflow, and they couldn't because it was very hard to on that equipment from that time in that era. So I hope this answers your question, Jersey Boys. I hope this gives you some insight. I hope I landed on your question right. Thank you guys so much for answering more questions. I'll be back tomorrow morning with another one. All through December, this is happening. Thank you so much. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all on the flip one. See you tomorrow morning. We're going to do this again. All right.